Okay, good morning, folks. And it is Friday morning. It's a gorgeous sunny morning here on Tyree. And as you can see, we're outside for this workout. So, Friday morning, this is our stretch session, stretch restorative workout. So, we're going to start out with a warm up. There is going to be a bit of work in that. We're going to build up some warmth in the body and then stretch things out. So, I've got my mat ready, I've got dumbbells ready as well. We're going to use a timer and go through 10 intervals of 25 seconds to start the session. That's the last people just joining in live class. So you can do this with your dumbbells. I'm going to do it with the dumbbells or without. It's up to you. Either way, we're starting with a standing squat. So feet flat on the floor, down and up. Is a squat ever not standing? A seated squat maybe? All right, either way, we're underway. Timer has begun, starting with the squats. We're going to build some warmth through the body before stretching things out. All right. Slightly off the level here, so that's going to make things a bit interesting. Last few seconds here, then we're going into a step back lunge, alternating sides. All right, so feet together, stepping back into that lunge. All right, building up that range of movement. All right, so Friday morning, this class, a chance to stretch things out, reopen through the shoulders, reset the posture. All right, take it back into that lunge, take it into a bicep curl. All right, so holding that lunge position into that bicep curl, add the kick out front if you like. All right, and you can guess what's coming next. You're going to switch legs, take it into that shoulder press. All right, switch legs, shoulder press, arms up, press high. All right, good. Barely a breath of wind this morning. Good. All right, take this into squat to press. We're going to squat and press high. I want you to use that momentum from the legs now. Down into the squat, power high into that press. So it's less in the arms in that press and more in the legs. Good. All right, last few seconds, then we'll go through that again. All right, there's time. Arms hang by the sides. Reset the shoulders back into that squat. So focusing into that squat movement. Deeper into that if you can. So focusing that work into the legs. Deep into that squat. Alternating step back lunges after this. Feet together, step back into that lunge. Good. All right, so working our way through these movements while Sandag wakes up. Got a tractor starting the day over there. Step back into that lunge, bicep curls. So I just went round the side of the house just to see where we could set this up. The sea is just lovely and flat this morning. Like I say, barely a breath of wind, but there's a little fishing boat just off the rocks. Switch legs, arms up, shoulder press. So a little fishing boat putting down or pulling up creels, which will have motored round from Milton Harbour around the other side of the island. So that'll be an early start for those guys. One more interval after this, squat to press. Right, there's the change, squat to press. Right, momentum from the legs. Right, so team should be feeling warm. Last few seconds. All right, and there's time. Okay team, dumbbells down. All right, we can leave them alone. We can leave the timer alone. We're going to take it down onto the floor, onto our mats. All right, and find a kneeling position. Let's do this on the grass. All right, so we're down on the mats. I'm on a slight incline here. That's going to make things a bit easier. All right, so into that box shape. Let's start with our cat-cow combination. So using the breath to time the movement from cat to cow, bringing that articulation through the length of the spine, working into areas of tightness or tension. Trying to bring mobility through the length of the spine. All right, take it back to neutral. From there, open up through one side, open out through one side. Not forcing the reach, just opening. Good. And then sweeping that arm through. We're going to thread it underneath and allow that shoulder and the outside of the arm to come down onto the floor. Allow the head to rest. Good, then bring it back through. Open out through the other side. Again, not forcing it or straining, just reaching out to a position that feels open and expansive. And then sweeping the arm underneath, allowing the shoulder and the outside of the arm to lie flat and the head to rest. And then bringing that back through, refinding box shape. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up into a downward dog. And then stepping forwards, left foot, knee down into hip flexor, opening out through here. So gently opening through the front of that hip, reaching up with that arm. There. Good, so reaching high but settling the shoulders down. Okay, and from there, bring this arm down and then just send that heel forward slightly, perhaps supporting down with that hand, but bringing that stretch gently through to the back of that leg. So bringing that focus into the hamstrings. Using the support wherever you need it. Trying to maintain that integrity of alignment. I feel this stretch comes on pretty quick. It's more of a support to approach that stretch rather than having to force any deeper into it. Alright, allow that to come back up. Refine that hip flexor stretch. Reach up high. Alright, and bring it around. Switch sides. Knee comes down, foot goes forwards. Open through the hip. Reach high. Good. Breathe into that releasing hip flexor stretch. Alright, then bring that around. Allow the heel to go forward slightly. Feel that stretch coming on and then easing into that. Even just to that point of stretch. And perhaps bringing the focus of your breath into that stretch. And that connection with the out breath. Nice, alright, refine that hip flexor, reach up to the sky. Alright, bring that back around, knee goes back, tuck the toes, relift the hips, downward facing dog. Alright, again, step forwards with the left foot, keeping the right knee off the floor this time, long runner's lunge. Opening through into that position. Good. Awareness as to how the whole body is aligned here. Long through that back leg. Nice. Alright, so got left foot forwards. Right hand grounds down into the floor. Open up with the left, either onto the knee or opening through the shoulder. into that rotation. So through this Friday class, this restorative class, think about bringing that expansion and that broadness through the shoulders. A chance to bring openness through the chest and the shoulder. Alright, that extended left arm, can you bring it around and have the left hand inside the left foot, flatten the back foot, and then open up with the right. There. Nice. Alright, bring that arm back around, refine long runner's lunge. Got the left hand inside the left foot, we can step back into a high plank from there. High plank, reset your alignment, re-lift the hips, downward facing dog. Same thing, right side, step forwards with the right foot, long runner's lunge. Allowing yourself to settle into that position. Again, really good functional stretch, allowing yourself to feel the areas that are tight, that need release. Grounding down with that left hand this time. Right hand can come up for support, or it can open up high. Lovely, good. Alright, bringing the arm back around, refinding the floor on the inside of the right foot. Back foot flattens, and open out to that side. So a more challenging stretch, opening out through the adductors. Before recircling that arm around, both hands flat on the floor, and then step back, high plank, up into downward dog, and hold for a moment. Let's go back again, step forwards with the left foot into a long runner's lunge. Now place the knee down on the floor, lift the arms up, both arms reach high, tucking the toes on the back foot. So imagine standing lunge, we're going to be circling the arms around, using that momentum to go up into a lunge. So shuffle the feet if you need to, think about that high lunge, circle the arms, and then up. There. Nice, shoulders down, arms high. Thinking about warrior two. That side facing kind of a warrior two. It's not the best description. All right, bring the arms to the horizontal. There it is. Open the hips to the side. That's what we were looking for. And settle the shoulders down into warrior two. Good. I'm just going to shuffle forwards a little bit. There we go. Nice. All right. From there, back hand down, front arm reaches up. Back to the horizontal. Send it forwards. Front arm, knee, back arm up and over. Expansion through the torso on each side. Good. All right. Take it back to the horizontal with the arms into warrior two. There. Now straighten out through that front leg. Here. Good. Send it forwards again with a straight front leg this time. Back hand on the hip. Reach down with that front arm. Feel that stretch through the hamstrings here. You can either stay here or we can open out through that back hand, that back arm. Think warrior two, transition through, up to the horizontal, settle down into warrior two. Good. All right, sweep that back foot a little bit closer. Think about that high lunge with the arms elevated. Transition through. So now forward facing. Good, shoulders down, arms elevated. Now lengthen that front leg. There. Circle the hands round to the waist. And from there, hinge from the waist. Just to that point that feels where you have a stretch, where it's at that limit to the range of movement. Good. Alright, remember that high lunge with the arms elevated, transition through. There. Good. And then can we do this on the way down? Might be a bit trickier going down. We're going to circle the arms around. The knee comes down and the arms reach up. I think I've got that easier on an incline grassy surface. Good. All right, last circle of the arms, bring them around, hands on the floor, step back with that foot, into box shape, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. All right, did we remember all that? We'll find out. Good. All right, so right foot steps forwards, back knee down, into hip flexor, arms elevated, tucking the toes on that back foot. Breathe. All right, think high lunge, circle the arms, send it all up. All right, high lunge here. Good. All right, from here, thinking warrior two, side facing with the hips, bring the arms down, transition through warrior two. Like that expansive stretch through the torso, back hand, back leg, reach up with the front arm. There. Take it back to the horizontal, send it forwards, front arm, front knee, reach up and over. And from there, take it back around, refind warrior two. There. From here, straighten that front leg, feel that length to both legs. Now send it forwards. Front arm can come down, back hand can go on the hip. And if you like, you can extend that back arm up high. Easing to that point of stretch. Easing to that limit of your range of movement. All right, think warrior two, bring the arms back around, resettle down into warrior two. Bring that back foot in a little bit. High lunge with the arms elevated. Circle them around and find it. There it is. All right, so we're in high lunge with the arms elevated. Now extend that front leg. Bring the hands to the hips. There. So legs lengthened from the waist, gently hinging forwards. So the lengthening of the back leg, back of the leg. Right, so it's a funny one there. It's like a lengthening of the muscles, but I find it different to a stretch. It's like lengthening but under tension. So it's working that functional flexibility, but also body awareness as you hinge from the waist. Think high lunge with the arms elevated, bring the body back up, refind. There. All right, and now for the going down bit, we're going to bring the arms around, the back knee drops, and we're back to hip flexor stretch. There. Bring the hands back down, step the foot back into box shape, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward dog. All right, well done team. All right, let's go into our hip stretches. So left foot lifts, three-legged dog, sweep it forwards, in between the hands, outside of the leg on the floor, into elevated pigeon pose. There, bring that stretch into the hip. Settling the shoulders. And if you like, bring it down low onto the forearms. Good, yeah, breathing into that stretch. Lengthening that back leg as if the leg is being drawn away from you. Re-lift up onto the hands. Tuck the toes, lift up, high plank position. And then lifting the hips, downward dog. Same thing other side, right foot lifts, sweep it through, outside of the leg. Flatten the back foot, lift up, elevated pigeon pose. And if you like, you can take this down low. Good. back up onto the hands, refinding that height. Looking the toes, lifting up, high plank position. And then all the way up, downward dog. Before taking it back to the knees, drop the hips over the heels. Let's get back into child's pose. And then up into box shape. And then either on your mat or on the grass, we're going to take it around into seated position here. Right, team, let's just stretch out the back of the legs here. So seated hamstring stretch. So allowing yourself to sit up tall using support if you need it. Edging the heels away from you, bringing that stretch through the back of the lower leg, through the Achilles. And when you've shuffled yourself into position, you can take a breath in, and on the exhale, hinging forwards from the waist. Finding that stretch from the waist to begin with. And then you can fold through the upper body, allowing the head to hang. Breathing into the stretch, using that breath connection to bring release. Although it feels like you can perhaps force this stretch, you can pull yourself into it. And it's better if you can allow your breath to find some release and then allow that extra movement to come to you. Yeah, thinking of that movement coming from that hinge from the waist. As much as you can fold through the length of the spine. Flexion from the waist, flexion from the hip. Alright, bring this back up, bring the feet in, press the soles of the feet together. So into that climb stretch, allowing the knees to drop out to the side, really finding the length through the spine. So bringing that stretch into the adductors. From there, keep one foot in, allow the other to lengthen, the other leg to lengthen, sorry. And find that classic sprinter stretch. So allowing your focus to go into that lengthened leg. Perhaps bringing that rotation through the torso. Aware of any restrictions to that reach. Breathing into it. Back up, feet back together. You find that clam stretch, you find your seated, tall alignment. And then other leg lengthens. And shifting your focus into this leg. That alignment from the pelvis, from the hips. Rotating into that stretch. If that feels helpful. Coming all the way back up, lengthen both legs, find that symmetry of alignment, taking a breath in, and on the exhale, rehinge from the waist, down with the arms, allow the head to hang into that hamstring stretch. Alright, coming up from there, falling back over, back into a box shape. So last little bit here, hands below shoulders, into box shape. Tuck the toes, lift up, high plank position. All right, so long with the arms. Already set 10 press ups. So think about the range of movements available to you. Let's go halfway down and push up. Halfway down and up. One more, halfway down and up. All right, so we could do that, or we could go all the way down and all the way up. All right, so if that's for you, you do that one or do the halfway. Either way, we're doing 10. Ready? 3, 2, 1, down, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Knees down, step forwards, left foot, open out through that right arm. Feel that lengthening of the arm as you reach up, hip flexor stretch. Good. Breathe. Nice. Right, take it back, hands on the floor, box shape, tuck the toes, high plank position. Breathe. 10 press ups, down, push it up, 1, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Knees down, step forwards, hip flexor stretch. Switch sides here. Yeah, good. Feel that length through the torso. All right, take it back around. No more press ups, but hands on the floor, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lengthen through the torso. Feel that energizing hint of work through the arms and chest that we just put in there. Breathe through the length of the torso. Feel energized for the rest of your day. Step forwards towards the hands, into forward fold. Feel the length of the legs. And then rebuild all the way up high. Reach up tall. And then circle around. Shake it out. All right, team. Good job. Stretched, worked, energized, ready for the rest of your Friday. Heads up, Monday's going to be a class from the archives. I will send you that by email, so look out for that. You can do that at any time of the day, but then we're back in Monday and Friday last week. So make sure you tune in, and I'll see you there. Have a great weekend, team. Thanks for tuning in for that one. See you on the other side.